Eirik Mavoshta, the darkness grows. It has sensed your presence. It was no storm, but destiny that delivered you to these shores. Wake up, Niev. It's time to set things right again.
Yeah.
So guys, that was a little playthrough of where the game's at so far. So welcome to Dev Diary episode 16 for the 30th of July 2018. So this will be the last Dev Diary before Dublin Comic Con. So if you didn't see my last episode, you'll know that we're heading to Dublin Comic Con with the game. So on the 10th, the 11th and the 12th I'll be in Dublin on the second floor of the convention centre in Spencer's Dock, displaying the game. You can come and check it out and play the game, and I might even have some treats and things like that there for anyone who comes along. But with that said, let's get cracking. So, building up to Comic-Con, I wanted to get as much kind of rounded experience of the game as possible. So you may have noticed that there in the intro I had some narrative. Now, the narrative was supplied by a voice actor named Dónal de Barra. A great guy, really good voice actor. I'll put links into his kind of online stuff that you can check out, but a very good guy, a fluent Irish speaker, which is quite important for our game considering it mixes both English and Gaelic, so it's nice to have someone as good as Dónal on board with the project. So let's get into some of the stuff that is going on in the game. So I'm just going to play from here. Well, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to break the link that plays that intro sequence, just because it makes things easier. So, okay, there's our begin event for the level, and then we go into our loading sequence. So I've broken the link here, and that means that we can just jump into the level without too much bother. So you may notice that I have the third person character in with some basic animations for the magic attacks. Also, you notice that I was jumping around at the start, so if you're not in contact with the ground, you can't cast the magic of Earth, which makes sense because you don't want people. Prior to that, you could jump up and cast, which made no sense. We have a nice kind of shield effect around both our fire effect, our fire shield, and our water shield. Not quite as good as the one that comes with wind, but it'll do for now. It kind of communicates a bit more what's going on. As I mentioned previously in other videos, I went ahead and I purchased some rocks from the asset store. So you can see here we've got our rocks going. One thing, you may notice that our third person character has gloves, whereas our first person hands don't. So I'm going to be coming up with a solution to that in the near future, but for now that'll do. So another change that I made is down at our fast travel stone. Just to make it kind of obvious that its purpose, I have a material that basically, as you get close to it, it lets a little sound effect, and it tells you that this is a fast travel point, and you can interact with it the same way as you usually do. So I'm just going to full screen that to make it a bit easier for you guys. So we're full screen now. So I'm going to head up here into the woods, which is kind of like the main action area of the demo. And you may notice that our guy here, he now has glowing eyes. He still can't affect me, he still can't do damage to me, but I'll be taking care of that eventually. So I'm just going to spawn in his friend, and we're going to go up to him. He's going to start chucking magic at me, but you can see he has red eyes, just to kind of tell you that he's a bit more dangerous than the other guys. And then some more guys kind of spawn in on a timer, and there'll be another guy spawning in here in a minute. But the goal will basically be, I'll probably have the regular skeleton guys spawn in, and this more powerful guy with the red eyes spawn in last. You may notice as well that because he's basically just firing the same projectiles as me, they're doing damage to his buddies here. So we'll have to have a look at that and make sure that that's not happening. But again, as I showed you before, I can select my earth attack, and yeah, so the earth attack's doing a lot more damage to these guys. I'd like to spend the next couple of days leading up to Comic Con adding a bit more detail. As you can see, I've done here around the kind of area where our enemies spawn in. I'd like to do the same here, maybe carry our wooded area slightly over to the other side of the road. I want them to know it's an open world game and that they can explore anyway, but in the same way that I used the emissive channel and the fast travel stone depending on how close you were to it, I have boundaries now set up around the kind of area of the open world that we've kind of paid attention to. So when the player kind of goes off the beaten track, this will come up, this wall, and basically when they go through, you see the message there. Unfortunately, there's not much outside the village. You're still free to explore on foot. So rather than forcing the player to go back, I've just kind of put that message in there and put that wall there. Run all the way out to here, and then it kind of merges here, go across the lake area, back down this side, and we should come to, oh, there's our second wall, and it goes across here. So it's just basically telling the player that this is kind of the only bit we've done for the demo, and that anything outside that is kind of not been focused on. So with that said, I'd like to complete the rocks here. I'd like to kind of finish those off all the way over to the invisible wall here. Maybe not as detailed as they are there, not as many meshes or instances, but I'd like to bring it up at least as far as here. Probably the same with the wooded area over there, just over here. I'd like to kind of do the same there. I'd also like to kind of get the enemies attacking and taking some health off. So once I get the animations maybe hooked up for the caster enemy type, I'll do something similar for the regular drones. I'll have them like swing at you or something like that. You know, throw a punch or just swipe at you. I think might be the best solution there. So from here until Comic Con, I'm just going to spend my time polishing what's already in the engine, in the game. I'm not going to be adding that much more content. I don't want to introduce anything that will kind of break the game. I've set a deadline of this coming Saturday, which gives me a week of where I can focus on kind of how I'm going to set up the stand, getting the computer ready that I'm going to be bringing with me. That it's not my workstation. I'm getting a custom computer to bring with me to show off the game. I don't really like the idea of bringing either my server or my workstation with me, so I'm going to get a computer just for bringing to trade shows and events like this. It'll give me a chance to set that up, get the printed kind of media and other kind of things sorted. I want to go through the UI and kind of change things, but the whole idea being if I'm doing any work on the game at all, I'm going to be changing what's already there. I'm not going to be introducing anything new between now and Dublin Comic Con. So cool guys, the next Dev Diary will be episode 17. So until then, thanks for tuning in, and I'll chat to you all again.